Alright, everybody. I guess this is the first video. um, not great at these things. Not as technically savvy as I was when I was maybe 12, 13 years old. But when I think about mental health and when I think about what I go through, then it worries me at times, but one of the biggest things is it kind of gets me thinking about what my friends and other people might go through as well. I don't know exactly how it affects every individual person, but what I do know is how it affects me on a daily basis and how it sometimes hinders my process of taking care of day-to-day things, but at the same time, I mean, it kind of almost gives you a little bit of fuel to be able to try and do things a bit better. So what I wanted to start out by doing, and don't mind the situation I'm sitting in, I'm in my bedroom, sitting on my bed, just woke up, I think it's like 7 something in the morning. I didn't want to plan anything out for this video. I just kind of wanted to give a heads up of what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, why it's important to me. So I guess the best way to start this out is with my diagnosis. My medical diagnosis from my doctors is bipolar depression with agoraphobia and panic disorder. Bipolar depression, I mean, back in the 90s, they would have called it manic depressive. What I do want to say though is we are much more than any kind of diagnosis or label that anybody's going to put on us. We are not just that thing. Bipolar depression to me means that I can have very high highs, I can have very low lows, and when I say highs and lows, I don't exactly mean happy and sad. I don't exactly mean, in a way, mad can be a high for me. I mean, if I get too excited or too overly worked up, if I'm sad, that could be a high because I could literally get so overly excited by crying, by thinking too much. I mean, these are things that we're all dealing with, and I hope that some people can understand that. For those who don't understand what agoraphobia is, I do have a tendency to not do well in crowds of people. I can hide it sometimes. I can deal with it. I can kind of suck it up depending on who I'm around. My daughters, my wife, my mother, my brother is huge in that situation because when you feel safe, those things don't tend to affect you as much. So that's that part of it. And then I guess kind of panic disorder. A lot of people tend to get the ideas of anxiety and panic, or anxiety attacks and panic attacks, and they get those two things, they lump them together. And what not too many people actually understand is when you have an anxiety attack, these are things that are triggered. These are things that, well, for instance, for me, if I'm around a large group of people that I don't know, that can cause my anxiety to get worse. Ever since I had my car accident about 5.5 years ago, driving in the car by myself, you know, sometimes I'm fine, sometimes that's a trigger for me. Sometimes I worry that maybe the same thing's going to happen again. Maybe I won't be as lucky as I was last time. So it's kind of different because panic disorder is no trigger whatsoever. I mean, it's literally my body says, hey, something's wrong. And my brain's like, oh, you're right. Something's wrong. We got danger. Something bad's happening. And I'm using these things and I'm just looking at it and I'm like, what are you guys talking about? But body follows the brain, brain follows the body, heart starts beating, no trigger whatsoever, it just happens. And I mean, one of the things that I want to start doing eventually is, certain things I know people use for their anxiety or their panic attacks, their processes, their ways of calming down, they don't work for me. And certain things that I might do might not work for other people, but maybe they will. So I'll share what works for me. I hope that other people will share with the page what works for them. Maybe we'll, in the long run, the plan here is we're going to help each other out. Whether it be just that one thing that you learned, or maybe you watch every video every day. I would like to eventually not just be me sitting behind a camera talking to everybody. We could do Zoom calls. We could, have a 10-15 minute conversation, explain the things that bother us, explain how we cope. If I stop and try and think a lot, like I said, I didn't really write anything down, plan this out. As you can tell, my video's backwards because, once again, not so technically savvy. But, I mean, as you can see, it's backwards words here. But I have the word cerebral, warrior. And to me, it's huge, because that's what I feel like I am on a daily basis. Cerebral meaning pertaining to the brain, warrior, pretty obvious. I feel like on a daily basis, I'm kind of battling with myself. I'm taking that walk through the day, and maybe this will set me off. Maybe I'll be able to deal with this better than I was dealing with it. But pretty much every day I'm going to deal with something that could possibly make things a little bit rough for me. And then I remember, it's either it wins or I win. And I have to win. That's all there is to it. I mean, we can't let something that, before I say the wrong thing here, it's a very real thing. But when we deal with our anxiety and we worry about things that could happen, we're literally worrying about something that is not even real at the moment. We are processing things in a way that we believe these 1,000 different situations could happen, and they haven't happened yet. In a way, we're kind of fortune telling, and I see a psychologist once a month, and as he's told me 1,000,000 times, I don't know one fortune teller that's 100% accurate. So why would we believe that we are? I don't want to get into a whole lot today. So far, I think the last time I checked the page, there were 20-some likes in less than, 8 hours, guys, and that's amazing. What I am going to ask you guys to do is, when we get this video uploaded on YouTube, go to the YouTube page, like the video, subscribe, make sure you're getting the notifications. I have no need to be the center of all this. It doesn't have to be about me. It doesn't have to be about what I go through all the time. What I want out of this whole situation is to point out to everybody that if we care about the person close to us as much as we care about the stranger that we might never actually even meet, sorry, I'm getting a little bit worked up there. Think about that for just a minute. Think about the fact that if you care about somebody who's going through the same thing as you and you have no clue who that person is, think about the way we're changing the world. And not in the hugest ways, like we're not changing the prices of things, we're not making things different for, I guess, what life's going to cost you. But you're literally enhancing the quality of life for another human being, whether they're close to you or not. I mean, that blows my mind. And I guess to me, I've always said this, and some people hear this and they'll be like, yeah, he harps on that a lot. But the greatest investment I've ever made in my life, I bought gold when I was younger. I've collected football cards. So many different things that I've put money into or that I've took time to learn. And my greatest investment I've ever made was people. The people who show up, even if you don't expect them to help when you actually need it, or the people who are there that you might be able to help. It's unbelievable. You can never actually have too many people who care in your life, and you can never ever care about too many people. It's, as humans, as one simple thought is just, you cannot care too much about good people. I do, before I end this video, want to say thank you to everybody who's liked the page so far. If you can continue to share the Facebook page. Like I said, also go over to the YouTube page where this will be originally posted. Give a like and subscribe. But a couple things I do want to get out of the way is there'll be no tolerance for any kind of bullying, any kind of racism, any kind of looking down on another person. We're all here because we feel a certain way, and you don't even have to have a medical diagnosis to help us or to help yourself. I don't believe I am my diagnosis. I believe I have a medical diagnosis, but that's not who I am. That's just part of me. Just like it's only part of you. It changes a lot of the way you're going to think and feel about yourself when you realize you're not a bipolar person. You're a person who has bipolar issues. You're not a depressed person. You are a person who is battling depression. I just want to get it clear through to people that, there are going to be some people who are going to try and poke fun at this. There's going to be people who think, oh, it's never going to work. It's never going to help out, blah, blah, blah. If I help one person, I'm happy. If I help myself here, I'm ecstatic. But if I can help one person feel better about the way they feel on a daily basis, I am beyond over the moon thrilled. So what I'm going to leave you guys with today, and I hope to make more videos soon. Like I said, by all means, anybody who wants to have a one-on-one chat and is willing to let me post the videos on the page and on the YouTube page as well, please contact me. I'm I'm more than ready to talk with whoever needs to or wants to. But I hope through all this that we can all just find a way to make things even just a little bit better for all of us. So I guess the best way to end this is just to say, we all matter. Together we're going to make this a lot better for each other. Your mental health matters so much, and the people who care about you would rather hear your story than have to read it after you're gone. I have so much love for everybody who understands that we can make a bigger difference. So for today, I'm going to go ahead and say bye. I hope everybody has a great day. As soon as I learn how to put links on my videos on YouTube, because I'm probably going to have my daughter show me that. I know some great sources that could help people get through their day better that aren't going to be just me. But I want you guys to have a wonderful day, understand how much you matter, and how much your mental health matters. So I will see you guys next time. Have a great one.